Krystal and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm happy to have you. Please make sure that you hit the subscribe button, leave a comment or two or three, and make sure that you also hit the likes button as well. The like button as well, the likes. I'm getting like the old people adding S's to everything. But yeah, be sure to hit the like button, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the video because we got to talk, y'all, okay? So as I'm on my VSG journey, you know, losing weight, dropping weight fast, I have had a couple of topics to arise and people want to know the tea. So one of the main topics that people want to know the tea of is how people treat you differently post-op or after your weight loss or weight loss surgery, whatever you do. And this can apply to people that have not had the bariatric surgery or, you know, VSG or what have you, even if you're just losing weight because you're in the gym or, you know, you've been changing your diet, what have you. This is something that I feel like a lot of plus size women and plus size people as a whole, whether you're a woman or a man, can relate to. And so the question was, how are people treating you differently, you know, since you've been losing weight, or have you noticed people treating you differently since you've lost weight? And I will say in this stage right now, I haven't really noticed too much of, you know, anyone treating me differently or unfair or treating me better than my last self. But I was just thinking earlier about an incident that I did notice when I was plus size, when I was bigger, how, you know, people can treat you like you don't exist. So just a little bit of backstory, you know, when I went to college, I really branded myself well. I made a name for myself, not to toot my own horn, but that was my mission, to go to school, to make myself known and to show the world what I had to offer, show people that I wasn't just a small town country girl. You know, I wanted to be known. And so I was plus size then. I've always made it my mark to embrace being plus size. It was kind of like my thing. It became my brand. It became how people knew me. And that just really went great for me. That whole entire 4 years of that went well. And then as I transitioned into young adulthood, I realized, okay, you're now going to have to refine yourself again. You know, you're still plus size, of course, but this isn't the same circle of people that know you and grew to know you and love you for who you are. And so I will just use an example of how I was out with two of my friends. This was this past year, actually, and we were at a networking event or a influencer event. And this guy, he came along and he was talking to them. Now, mind you, all three of us are at this one stand-up table, you know, having drinks and socializing and things like that. And we were all just us three there in the same vicinity. And he came and just immediately started to talk to both of them only. He didn't recognize me. He didn't speak to me. He didn't say anything. It was just kind of like, hey, how are you? Hey, how are you? And if I'm over here, his eyes never went in this direction. And after he left, you know, he spoke to them for a few minutes and he left. And I was just like, like, you don't want to automatically think negatively. At least I try not to, because I know I'm fine at the end of the day. You ain't got to speak to me, honey. But everybody doesn't have that same confidence. And whether I know I'm fine or I know, you know, my confidence is high in that scenario, it still isn't right. It isn't fair. But I said all that to say is that, you know, I thought that was just really strange. Like, why didn't you speak to me? Even if I wasn't someone you was interested in, or, you know, someone that you just really didn't think was appealing to you, you could at least say, hey, how are you? Like, you know, and then you could have directed your conversation to the people you wanted to talk to. I just felt like it was really like rude, of course, but that was my first instance. I feel like I actually really sat down and analyzed someone treating me unfair due to my size or my looks, at least. And once again, I haven't experienced that post-op because I've been to a few places and events, but it's mostly just been a lot of people, you know, recognizing my weight loss and congratulating me, but not doing it in a way that I thought deemed of being, you know, just like out of the norm. And so I want to send this message to any woman, any girl who may be going through weight loss changes, VSG surgery, any bariatric procedure, to please keep your head in the game. don't focus on those people. You know, if you feel like somebody is circling the block, if someone is now all of a sudden treating you better than your old self, remember why you chose this journey. Remember, you know, your self-love and your worth. And from there, you make the decision whether you want to entertain that or not. So I'm not here to tell you, don't talk to these people, don't do this, don't do that. Just know, you know, recognize the signs first and move forward from there. But I believe as time goes on that it's going to happen to me for sure. Like, I already know it, especially like when I go out or when it comes to dating, which is something that I haven't really like dived into, honestly, as I've been a young adult. So I feel like it's going to happen, especially they're like, oh, you lost this much weight, or oh, like your transformation is cool. It's bound to happen. But yeah, that was just my little tea on that question. I really wanted to address that on my YouTube channel because I feel like I can be a little bit more free here. And you guys can like actually listen to like my true thoughts, because that was asked of me on Instagram. But honey, that's just something I just let roll off my shoulder. Like, of course I still think about, I'm not gonna say I still think about the situation, but I recollected, you know, the scenario. And, it was in the back of my head when that question came up. But do I lose sleep over it? No. Okay, I was fine then, I'm fine now, and I'm gonna be fine in the future. And that's all that matters. And the right person that is supposed to be for me, or the right people that are supposed to speak to me and be in my aura, that are supposed to be in my, like, you know, area, they will gravitate towards me and they will come to me with open arms. So if that is you and you're worried about that, or if you're worried about people treating you differently, don't worry about it. That's just one of the least things you need to worry about. But yeah, y'all, now that I've talked about that a little bit, I wanted to really quickly show you these Mott's little Lunchables, y'all. Love them. I've been eating these like constantly nonstop as snacks. Sometimes it's quick meals if I can't get something really, really fast, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to know, like, you know, what do you eat? You have any meal plans, meal prep? I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably one of the, I'm not gonna say the worst VSG eaters, but like I really be grabbing stuff on the go. Like I make sure I make smart decisions when it comes to what I'm grabbing and what I'm eating. But however, like I'm not really cooking meals. Like if I'm out, I make sure I eat small proportions, and I make sure that I'm eating stuff that doesn't have a lot of sweets. I mean, a lot of calories, well, not a lot of calories, a lot of sugar and things like that, looking for things that I can get protein through. But when it comes to this, when it comes to my protein snacks, when it comes to like trying to get my water intake in, you know, adding additives like the flavored water stuff from like brands like Stir, I often use those type of things. And when it comes to like, you know, the foods that I eat, I try to eat like chicken. If I do eat eggs, sometimes it gives me problems. So especially like boiled eggs. So I don't eat it as much, but it does go down. It just makes me feel like I get a little headache, or like a migraine rather. I do like cheese and pretzels, of course, apples, different fruits such as like kiwi. I do love my Greek yogurt. Different things like that you can eat. And of course you guys can get my ebook. I did put some meals together that I have had and I did like, but am I eating them every single week? No, I'm just gonna be honest. So yeah, but mid snack, y'all, this is a good snack. Good one. I got mine from Food Line.